If you own a Bored Ape and you add it to your Twitter as a profile picture, let me tell you, you'll get a few thousand followers in the next few days. So that's how it is with the art NFTs.
Welcome to our series entitled the IAM Podcast, a podcast about innovation, business, and most importantly, people. In this series, we'll be talking to founders, executives, and various experts about their vision, challenges, best practices, and lessons learned throughout their journey. Let's get started. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the IAM Podcast. Today, I'm excited. It's a really mind-blowing topic. I am with the CEO and founder at Signex.io, Itay Dekel. Itay, how are you?
Very good, very good. Thank you for having me. How are you?
Our pleasure. We're excited to what you're going to share. Thanks for your time in advance and welcome to the show. Okay, so yes, please share with us your brief background, your personal career experience, expertise.
Sure. Well, this is my second startup. You might say I'm an entrepreneur. That's a word that gets thrown around quite a bit these days, but I started off my career. I've always done like business development and sales, and was always around that type of topic and intrigued by it. I started my career working for an ad tech company called Heron Media, and I worked there for a little less than a year. And when I decided, I could probably do this by myself, so I joined along my co-founder at the time, and we started off working from what you may call, our basement, and just trying to crawl our way up, being a young company and not having many connections. But we managed pretty well, and ended up working with over 200 companies worldwide, companies from the States, from South America, from Europe. That was a really cool factor of my job, that I got to speak from people to people from all over the world, which was really nice and interesting. So yeah, some of the biggest names we also worked with, and had a team of employees here in Israel, had a team of employees in India. So yeah, definitely, was a fun ride. After about 3.5 years, I decided to leave the company, to sell off my shares to my co-founder. It wasn't an easy decision. If there's any entrepreneurs or co-founders in the crowd, they probably know that it's hard to give up on something you've built. It feels like it's a part of you. I've heard people, call their company their baby, which
Yep.
I don't have kids yet, but that's something that I can relate to. But at the end of the day, you have to kind of make your decisions and live by them. So decided to leave the company. The ad tech space is a difficult space to make money nowadays. Facebook, Google are really closing in on all the rest of the companies, and you're pretty much left with the crumbs, which could still be a lot of money, by the way, the crumbs of Google and Facebook. But I felt like the field was declining, and I wanted to move to a field that has a lot of growth potential. And I definitely saw that with the crypto and NFT space. There's just, I wouldn't even say that we're in the beginning, because it's so early. There's so much potential to this as I see it. So I decided to, build what I'm building now, Signex.io. Very briefly about what we do. We found that the social aspect of NFTs is probably the biggest factor for deciding the success or failure of an NFT project. Meaning, you could have the best team, you could have the clearest roadmap, a utility NFT, or the best designer for your art NFT. But if you don't have the community to back up your project, it's worth nothing. So what we decided to do is actually follow the community, the social growth of each NFT project, and give that information to our users, so they can very clearly and very easily, first off, spot if the community is real or not, because that's a big issue with NFTs. And second of all, see what the trends are in terms of social growth.
Okay, yes. First, you mentioned about NFTs, non fungible tokens, and you said we haven't scratched the surface yet. So, to those who are not aware or are not familiar but would like to know more about, please share with us NFTs. I mean, as painless as possible. Please talk to us about NFTs.
Yeah, so NFTs, like you said, non-fungible token. What non-fungible token means is pretty much the opposite of what we know as currency today. So, for example, a dollar is a fungible token, meaning every dollar in the world is worth just the same as the different, as any other dollar. Or Bitcoin, from the crypto world. Every Bitcoin is worth the same as any other Bitcoin. With NFTs, they're not worth the same. You can have an NFT that sells for $1 million, like a Bored Ape, for example. You can have an NFT that's worth 10 cents. So that's where the non-fungible token is from, and it basically, very high level. It's a digital art. That's at least where it started. It started from. There's now NFTs that do much more than just being a piece of art. Just being a JPEG. You have utility NFTs. You can own an NFT, in the digital world, but it will connect to an actual piece outside of the digital world in the real world. So for example, you could own a house just by holding on to this NFT, and this solves a lot of bureaucracy and a lot of paperwork and all this. As long as you hold this NFT, the item belongs to you. And there's many more utility for NFTs.
Yes, truly mind blowing. So, what do you know, or could you share what the psychology is behind this? Like you said, it's more than a digital art.
Yeah. So if we go to the art section of NFTs, which is where I would say most people are familiar with NFTs and where the biggest money currently is and the most amount of projects are today. So in terms of art, you can say that I recently read this article that said that for teenagers and the young people there, their digital presence is just as important as their real presence. Meaning the person they are on Instagram and Facebook and Snapchat and TikTok is just as important as the people they are in the real world. Now that may be sad to some people. I think that's pretty sad as well, but it's the truth. That is where our world is going to, whether we like it or not. That's just how it is. And owning an NFT nowadays, like a valuable NFT, like a Bored Ape or a CryptoPunk, to some kids, it's more. It would be nicer than to have like a really luxury car or something like that. To be able to say that NFT is yours is more valuable to them. So that's one of the things. The other thing is being a part of the community. We're people, we like to be part of different things. And the fact that you hold certain NFTs will connect you to that certain community. If you're part of a big project, they might fly you somewhere in the world. Even if you bought that NFT for $100, they'll treat you exactly the same as if you bought it for $1 million. So Bored Ape and CryptoPunk, they do all these massive events and they'll send out, the people that own the project. So yeah, if you own a Bored Ape and you add it to your Twitter as a profile picture, let me tell you, you'll get a few thousand followers in the next few days. So that's how it is with the art NFTs.
Okay. So yes, thank you. So about Signex.io, so what convinced you? Okay, I will start this from the ground up.
Good question. I saw a need, first of all. I spoke to a few of my friends. It started off like that. I have a friend that he pretty much all he does is trade crypto and NFTs. That's pretty much his day job. And he told me how he got scammed for an NFT project that he thought had a really big following and ended up, all fake and full of bots, and the project failed. And it got me thinking that we could do something about that. But even before that, the way I got into NFTs was with a project called NBA Top Shot. I'm a big basketball fan. I've been following NBA for pretty much my whole life. And I came across an NFT project called NBA Top Shot, which is pretty much NFTs of NBA players doing what NBA players do, like assisting or dunking or blocking. And I thought, hey, that's pretty cool. I was really into crypto at the time and wanted to get started with NFTs and decided to buy a few NFTs. And after about 2 weeks, something like that, a week or two, my older sister came to me and told me about this project without her knowing that I've already bought a few NFTs from this project. And my older sister is not very tech savvy. And I was assuming that if she heard about this project, it's probably going mainstream. And I started to check the social status of this project, got into the Discord and got into Twitter and started to see really, big follower gains and a lot of people talking in those platforms. There were follower gains and there was passion in the community. And once I checked that, I was looking at the NFT prices of NBA Top Shot and they were really, really going up. So I said to myself, okay, I think we've reached some sort of a peak with the follower gains and the passion in the community. And I decided to sell a few NFTs. And after a few days or a week, the prices really went down, as did the follower gains and the passion in the community. Just kind of, it balanced out. And so I made a few dollars, made a few shekels. But I also learned something. I learned that the community and the follower gains of an NFT project is one of the biggest factors for deciding the success or failure of an NFT project. And after speaking to tens, if not hundreds of NFT investors and enthusiasts, I can tell you it's actually the biggest factor for deciding a success or failure of the project. And you find yourself in this huge market. This market is now worth over $40 billion. And it's not even mainstream. Like a lot of people still don't know what an NFT is, and it's still worth upwards of $40 billion. They're all asking themselves the same question, all these NFT investors. Whenever they're looking at a new NFT project, they're asking, what are the social trends of this NFT project? What does the community actually look like? And so with that in mind, we started off Signex.io and we spoke to so many people within this field. And we actually built a platform that is based on what they suggested. So we definitely kept them in mind and build a platform where you can, get pretty much everything you want to know about the community in a matter of minutes. So how many followers there are, how many people have joined in the last day, in the last 7 days, how many people are actually talking on these platforms, how much, and what are the differences? What are the shifting social trends for each NFT project?
All right. So to better understand that, would you walk us through your website and talk to us about the secret sauce? I mean, compared to other platforms.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right, so this is our platform. It's an MVP still. We've released it about 2.5 months ago. We're very proud of it because, as you may know, startups don't always have so many resources and so much time to do. You have to work very fast. So we're definitely proud of this MVP. So here on the left side, you have all the projects that we're following. Currently, we're following almost 300 projects. The aim of the platform is to follow a few tens of thousands of projects. Here we have what we like to call the general matrix. So the total supply of the project, how many owners, how many unique wallets are actually holding this supply, the total volume, which is how much money in Ethereum has been put into the project, the floor price, average price, and market cap. Now, all this information is very important, but you could probably find it in a bunch of other places. What really makes us unique and where our secrets are is in the social matrix. This is an actual sneak peek, a look inside each community of each NFT project. For somebody that's interested in NFTs or trading NFTs, this information is absolutely priceless. So first off, you get the Discord members, the Twitter followers, the changes in the last day and last 7 days. But on top of that, you can actually see how much activity has been taking place in each of the platforms. Now, we already have how many emojis is being sent and how many retweets and how many likes. We can break that down. And that's one of the things that we want to add very, very soon to our platform, that you'll actually be able to tell how many retweets and how many emojis and all this stuff to somebody that's interested. Now, we don't stop there, because I can't tell you how many times people come up to me and say, hey, Itay, I want to get started with NFTs. I'm really interested in this space. I don't know how. I have no idea. Like, what project should I buy? And if I were to show them this information, it would probably make zero sense to them. It wouldn't help them. So what we did is actually took all this information about the social media and put it into one score. This is our RAP score, which is a score between 1 and 100, where 1 is not good and 100 is excellent. So even if you have zero experience, zero knowledge about NFTs, you could still very easily and in a very friendly way get started and pick out an NFT that you like. Because right now, the way people choose an NFT for the first time is they probably hear about it from a friend or read about it on Twitter or Discord. They go ahead and buy it, and then they either get lucky or they lose money. That's how it is. With this, you can actually see what's going on inside the community, which is, like I said, for the third time, the biggest factor for deciding the success of an NFT. Now, if we were to go into one of the projects, let's choose Bored Ape just because it's bored. You get more information about the project, between 50 to 100 words about the project. And if you're looking for the website, Discord, Instagram, Twitter, and Etherscan, you can find it all here. Etherscan is probably for more advanced users. You can actually get to see what's going on inside the wallets that are holding this specific project and this specific NFT project. You get some cool graphs, a fluctuation of the changes with the Discord and Twitter followers, and you can actually see for 14 days or 1 month, and you get the average price versus the RAP score, which is a great tool, especially for beginners, to kind of see what's going on and how does the RAP score and average price align. Also, if you're sold and decided to buy one of the NFTs, these are all available to buy on OpenSea. You could just choose one that you like, get the different traits, because not all NFTs were born alike, like we said. We're going to add a rarity score as well, which will rank the different NFTs inside the project. And if you like it, you can either like it and add to your personal dashboard, or go ahead and move on to OpenSea. OpenSea is the biggest marketplace for NFTs, and make a purchase. You can buy it all from right here. We'll get an affiliation fee. You won't feel that if you're a user, but you could do it all from our system, and then maybe go ahead and update your portfolio. And if you connect your wallet, you can also see your portfolio automatically. So that's very, very let's say a very brief introduction to our platform. We have many other things. The drop section, like I said, we're working on very hard. We recently added the Twitter stats for the minting projects. So you can see some social stats before they've even been minted. I'm assuming most people will actually spend most of their time in the drop section, because most people don't have the money or the will to buy a crypto or Bored Ape. So go on to the drops. You can make nowadays, if you find a good project, 100 or 1,000x on your money. That can happen. Obviously, there's more chances that you'll lose your money, but you can make a significant profit if that's what you're looking for with new drops.
Okay, wow. Mind blown. And of course, is there a crazy story like while building this or trading? I don't know. Any crazy story you can share about NFTs?
NFTs is definitely a crazy space. And one of the things that's important for me to say is, because I do hear this from a lot of people, they say, okay, well, if you have all this social stats and you get all this information and you say it's such a big factor, why aren't you like a billionaire already? Why aren't you just trading and doing all this stuff for yourself?
Lead, yeah.
Which is a fair question, because we do say that we have all this information, we do. But the NFT space, and this is, especially for people who haven't traded in NFTs yet, it's a very, very volatile market. It's hard to anticipate. The crypto space, which is older, is also a very volatile market, but NFTs is even more volatile than that. And there's different trends that change all the time. You could have, a project growing, like I said, 100 or 1,000 times, and then 100,000 other projects will completely fail. So it's always important for me to say that, we don't have all the information. What we want to do is give you another aspect. If you want to start trading NFTs or are trading NFTs, for you to be a smarter trader, for you to be a smarter collector of NFTs, because it's a volatile market. Don't spend money you don't have on NFTs.
Yes. So like at one moment it goes really high and then it drops. Okay, but yes, you provide social metrics. So Yes, you said you're improving that community. How are you doing it? How are you dealing with that problem?
Yeah. So one of the things that we want to do, like I said, is to prevent, or not prevent, but to be able to spot bots and fake activity on Twitter and Discord, and in the future, we're already following Reddit, and we want to start following TikTok as well and add that to what we're doing now. And one of the biggest problems with NFTs, there's lots of scammers out there, but I mean, it's bound to happen with every new industry that comes in. The scammers are on the lookout, for these types of things. And what we really want to do is to be able to say to our users, hey, this is a real community and they have real activity as to this is full of bots and fake activity. Because right now you could go on Google and buy, I don't know, 1,000 followers for your Twitter in 5 minutes. It's that easy. And right now we're doing this manually, but we want to do this automatically. We want to bring in machine learning, NLP, and AI to be able to spot automatically if we're seeing bot behavior and fake activity behavior.
How are you planning to grow your business, and what's your plan? Are you raising money, and what for?
Yeah, we're actually raising money right now. We're raising our seed round. The seed round will be used to clean the information, like I said, use deep learning, machine learning, AI, NLP, and to be able to actually reach our audience. So we want to market to the people that we see fit use this platform. We've already contacted influencers. Influencers are not cheap, let me tell you, but they're in our pipeline. They're waiting for us to pay them. So yeah, that's one of the reasons that we're raising money. I'd be happy to discuss it with anyone that thinks that he or she could be a part of Signex.io. And we think that this could really be groundbreaking because there's so many people that are trading NFTs and are wary whether they're looking at a real community or a fake one. Now, after we fix it, we like NFTs, so we want to do this for NFTs. However, once we get this technology sorted out, we could use this for so many other things. The sky's the limit because bots will affect politics, and they'll affect stock market, and they'll affect 1,000 other things. So we're into NFTs, so we want to fix this problem for our sake. But in the future, we could definitely use this technology for many other things.
Interesting. Yes. So what do you think, how can NFTs change the world?
Good question. First off, there's, sometimes people come up to me and they say, hey, this NFT stuff is BS and it's all going to go to zero. There's no future. Much smarter people than myself and much more accomplished people than myself are investing heavily in this field. So companies like Facebook that changed their name to Meta are in this. Nike recently bought, it's not so recently, but they bought a company that makes shoes, but not out of rubber and leather. They make shoes for the metaverse. They make shoes, NFT shoes, which is absolutely incredible. Adidas are also in this. MasterCard have recently signed a contract with Coinbase to be able, so you'll be able to buy an NFT with your credit card. Because right now, for most cases, you'll have to switch your fiat money, your dollars or euro, whatever, to crypto. And then from cryptocurrency, you'll be able to buy an NFT. But now MasterCard has made this available to the masses to be able to, just scan your credit card, buy an NFT. And so many other companies are investing. NFTs have much more potential than just, a piece of art. I like the art stuff. Don't get me wrong. I'm into that, but it has potential to do so many things. Once you'll be able to identify yourself with an NFT. I see something like voting, for example, as something that you wouldn't have to go, outside and vote and do scans and show your ID and all that. You could just have your NFT that will represent yourself. And I see so much, of the bureaucracy that we are experiencing today as something that NFTs could absolutely fix, because you have your NFT and your NFT is connected to who you are or something that belongs to you, which is absolutely incredible. As well as gaming. Gaming has just took a massive shift. There's so many companies, like I know gaming companies who are now investing into NFTs because they see the potential. There are certain countries in Africa where playing NFT games is actually more than the average salary. So NFTs are actually holding economies in certain countries, which is phenomenal. Like who could imagine that playing a game will be worth more than going out and doing some work? So the potential is absolutely crazy. And I invite everybody that's interested into NFTs to read more and obviously do the research. Don't just go ahead and buy every NFT that you see on the internet. That's not going to work for you. But the potential is absolutely massive.
If you had a billboard to write one short piece of advice to everyone who's listening right now, whether it would be NFT or anything that you would like, the message you would like to share, what would that be?
Buy crypto. That would probably be my best advice. Don't spend money you don't have on things you don't need, or don't spend money on NFTs or crypto that you don't have, because I have seen people that spend more than what they're willing to lose. Like I said, it's a super volatile market. Don't do that. But the world is going Web3. The world is going towards the NFT and the cryptocurrency spaces. And I would just recommend for everyone to try to be a part of that in any way that they can. That's what I'm trying to do with the company that I'm building today. And that's probably my best advice.
Okay. So far in your journey, what have you learned so far? The most important lesson that you have learned?
Are we talking about Signix.io or in just general my career? Or
general, as an entrepreneur?
I think one of the biggest lessons I've had was to trust my employees. When I started off with Sparrow, which is my first company, I wouldn't trust the people I would bring into work, which is I'm kind of ashamed to say it, but that's the truth. I didn't think that they could do the work as good as I did, and I think that once I understood that and started to give them more trust, I noticed that sometimes they can do the work just as good as myself, if not even better. So for every entrepreneur there, hire the right people, and once you hire them, then trust them and give them your trust and respect and belief that they can do the work just as good as you are, because you might be surprised like I was. So that's kind of an advice from the tip of my head.
Wow. So that's actually one of the things that Nathanielin, so I'm not sure if you know Robusta.dev, so he said, delegate, right? Offload some tasks. They may do it worse today, but tomorrow, when they focus and give their full attention, they're going to do it 200% compared to how you can do it. Wow. Okay.
That's great advice. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Because I think entrepreneurs sometimes have this thing in mind where they are the best at everything at time, and there's a problem. No, yeah, you're not as good as you think you are sometimes, and you can trust other people. So yeah, that's good advice.
Okay. So to those who want to get started with NFTs and who want to ask you for any advice, that NFT is very volatile. So please, how can we connect with you?
Yeah, I would love to get feedback from people about the platform. I would love to hear of other entrepreneurs that are that want to maybe work together or anything like that. They could, hit me up on LinkedIn, Itay Dekel, or send me an email, which is Itay@Signix.io. Absolutely, feel free. I would love to get feedback or comments or anything of that nature.
Okay, all the best to you, Itay, and all the best to Signix.io. We'll be awaiting for the milestones. Great news, more mind-blowing news about Signix.io.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. This podcast is powered by IAMOps.io. Optimize your cloud infrastructure and CI/CD process with IAMOps.io dedicated DevOps team. Check out www.iamops.io and get a DevOps team now. Make sure to check out www.iamops.io if you want to know more about us. Subscribe to our podcast so you can get notified every time we post a new video. Thank you, and you have a great day.